It is exactly midday in Mamanta, Bamenda 1 subdivision, Bamendankwe in the northwest region, and time for essential African information. We start with the headlines. The Cameroon Airlines Corporation, that Cameco, has a new lead. Moga IM is the new board chair, while Elangwema, the incoming director general, were designated at the end of an ordinary session of the board of directors. The Central African Republic's government announced on Thursday, January 7th, a curfew throughout the country as a means to halt rebel moves as they plan public demonstrations. And in sports, the head coach of the Lions, Martin Tugompile, said he had no declaration to make to the press, stressing that he needed time to reflect after the intermediate Lions were defeated by Zambia in a 2-0 win yesterday, January 7. This is all for the headlines. Stay tuned. Welcome back. A new team has been appointed to manage the affairs of the Cameroon Airlines Corporation, Cameco, with IM Maga as the board chair, Colonel Jean-Christophe Elangwema as the general manager, and Alexandra Foshif as a deputy general manager. They were appointed at the end of an extraordinary session of the board of directors of the National Airlines Corporation, Cameco, Thursday, January 7, 2021. The session was presided over by the Minister of Transport, Jean-Ernest Massenengale-Bibe. The General Manager, Jean-Christophe Elangwema, 7th in 10 years, is an Air Force colonel who before Thursday's appointment worked at the Presidency of the Republic. He replaces Louis Georges Jipenji Kutu, former board chair of the corporation, appointed in May 2019. The latter failed to meet some of the company's challenges, which today finds it difficult to ensure the list for domestic flight. Colonel Jean-Christophe Ella will be assisted in the discharge of his functions by Alexandra Foshi. With most inhabitants of the economic capital, Douala, complaining of the rarity of coins and the difficulties in carrying out of daily activities, local business owners are calling on the government to produce more coins and place a ban on foreign bodies that use these coins as local materials for the production of jewelries. Report. The CFA francs is the common currency shared by member states of the Economic and Monetary Community of Central African CEMAC. On December 18, 2019, the governor of Biak, Abbas Mohamed Toli, announced the availability of enough new francs CFA coins which could solve the country's economic need of coins after a series of complaints from business owners in big cities like the economic and political capitals, Douala and Yaoundé respectively. The tragic disappearance of coins has been blamed on coin retailers and also on foreign economies exporting it as a raw material. In 2018, a Cameroonian and Chinese national were arrested in possession of 43 bags of coins amounting to between FCFA 2 and 7 million in Douala, chief town of the littoral region. According to the suspects, the coins were gotten from gaming slots and are being shipped to China for the production of jewelries and other converted into tokens. The disappearance of coins is gradually gaining grounds in the economy and is driving a black market as prices of goods increase due to shortage of coins, even though the Central Bank of Africa (BIAC) states the reselling of money is prohibited. Local businesses in the economic capital are currently having slow sales rate due to the shortage of coins.
Yeah, this issue of coin is affecting a lot of our business because during the day we lost many customers who come who have changed to do and they have to go back. So at the end of the day we don't make a lot of gain. And some that will decide also to make the change, but they have to move from look for many other traders, beg for change, and it takes a lot of time. And sometimes even you have also to go and buy from some other traders to have to change. So it makes it very difficult for us. We don't know, we'll only be pleading for them. If they can hear our cry and maybe increase or pump in some coins in the economy, will be very big help for us because business is just stuck in one place, not moving because of coin issue.
In 2020, the Bank of Central African States (BIAC) put in place the important volume of coins into the sub-regions of the Economic and Monetary Community of Central African States to cure shortage. Meanwhile, the commercial bank, who is ready to reference themselves, are called to collect their volume of change so as to equally boost the quick circulation of the disbursed coins. Business owners are calling on authorities to do something before the economy crumbles. Thank you for that report, and it takes us to since early November, police officers and members of the public have harassed and attacked at least 7 journalists covering campaigns for the country's upcoming presidential elections, which is scheduled for January 14, according to reports by local press rights groups and journalists who spoke to the community to protect journalists. The majority of the attacks and harassments have been directed towards journalists covering opposition candidates. This was according to these sources, and authorities have also issued new guidelines requiring foreign journalists to reapply for their accreditations within a week and have deported at least 1 foreign news crew. According to news reports, in January 2021, incumbent President Yoweri Museveni will seek a 6th term amid a challenge from music-turned-politician Robert Kyagulanyi, also known as Bobi Wine. During the campaign, security personnel have also arrested opposition candidates and violently suppressed political rallies and protests, according to these reports. The Central African Republic's government announced on Thursday, January 7th, a curfew throughout the country. There is a curfew throughout the national Central African Republic from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. President Faustin Archange Touadera announced in a statement read on a national radio. The move is seen as an additional way to fight against the rebels' advance, even if for the time being it is being pushed back far from Bangui by loyalist forces, peacekeepers, and of course some reinforcement from Russia and Rwanda. According to the peacekeeping force of the United Nations mission in the Central African Republic, that's MINUSCA, the rebels have not progressed for 10 days, with the exception of Bangesu, 750 kilometers east of Bangui. President Archange Touadera won 5 more years in power. However, fighting has continued in towns nationwide since the election, with the rebels threatening to march on the capital Bangui. Cameroon loses 3 places in 2020 World Press Freedom Index. Cameroon has been ranked the 134th out of 180 countries by Reporters Without Borders in its 2020 Annual Press Freedom Index. The following report from Sandrine Doumbé brings us the details.
The index, which assesses press freedom in 180 countries around the world, has published Tuesday, January 5, with Cameroon occupying the 134th position, 3 places down from the 2018 index. According to this ranking for the year 2020, Cameroon recorded 37.38 abuse score, 43.17 underlying situation score, giving a global score of 43.28 with a 0.4 difference with 2019. Norway tops the index for the 4th consecutive year. Meanwhile, North Korea, last one, pleased to take the last position. At least the regional level, Africa comes at the 3rd continent, favorable for media freedom after suffering major reversals in forms of prolonged arbitrary detention and online attacks. The list of the biggest declines in the 2020 index is topped by Haiti, where journalists have often been targeted during violent nationwide protests for the past 2 years. After falling 21 places, it is now ranked 83rd. Eritrea is the continent's worst-ranked country. According to RSF analysis of the 2020 Press Freedom Index, the next 10 years will be pivotal for press freedom because of converging crises affecting the future of journalism. A geopolitical crisis due to the aggressiveness of authoritarian regimes, a technological crisis due to the lack of democratic guarantee, a democratic crisis due to polarization and repressive policies, a crisis of trust due to suspicious and even hatred of the media, and an economic crisis impoverishing quality journalism.
Sandrine Doumbé on that report takes us to sport. A week to the kickoff of the African Football Championship (CHAN) in Cameroon, preparatory matches of the intermediate Lions have not been applauded by the public and football experts. At the end of a Fall Nation pre-CHAN tournament, Thursday, January 7th, 2021, the intermediate Lions came last on the classification table with just a point. The Lions played 3 matches, drew 1 and lost 2. The Lions scored 2 goals in 3 matches and conceded 5. On the classification table, Uganda comes first with 7 points, followed by Zambia with 4 points, just as Niger too with 4 points, and Cameroon last at the bottom with 1 point. At the end of their last match against Zambia on January 7, 2021, that's yesterday, the head coach of the Lions, Martin Dugo-Pile, said he had no declaration to make to the press, stressing that he needed time to reflect. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for staying with us till the end. 7 p.m. is another edition of the English Newscast. Stay tuned and have a fruitful weekend.